Welcome to Cavaletto Studios. I'm Chris. Foam roll and recovery is a short foam rolling sequence that includes rolling common areas and a full body stretch routine to release tension. So let's get started. We're going to start on our glutes. Let's start on the left glute. Lean the left hand back onto the floor, feet flat, knees bent. You're going to draw the body forward and back, rolling to the top and the bottom of that left butt cheek. Finding any trigger points, any tension. I call them roadblocks. And then go very slowly now. Slow it way down. Slowly gliding the body forward to the top of the glute and then all the way back. Slowly moving back down towards the sits bones. And then find the middle of the glute. And then pull your left ankle over your right thigh. And let's open up that knee. Keeping it open. Slide your body again forward slowly, going to the top of that glute. And then slowly back the other way towards the bottom. And then go back up towards the top again. And try to lean all your weight onto that roller. And then find the middle of the roller, with the middle of the glute with the roller. And then draw that leg gently side to side, really opening up that left knee. One more. And then we're going to uncross that leg and we're going to switch to the right side. So now you're leaning over on that right glute, right hand behind you, feet flat, knees bent, and we're going to roll forward so we go to the top of that glute and then all the way to the bottom. And then again to the top, just testing out, seeing how this side feels, if there's any trigger points, any tender spots. One more, and now we're going to slow it way down. Slowly move your body forward so you roll up to the top of that glute. So we're rolling today. We're trying to massage out that tissue. We want the body to recover. Maybe you've had a tough workout. Maybe your body just needs some little tender loving care. So just gently rolling slowly back and forth over that right glute, noticing if there's any spots that need a little extra pressure just to let that trigger point dissolve. Now we're going to take the right ankle and cross it over the left thigh and then open up that right knee. And then again, slowly slide to the top of the glute and to the bottom of the glute. And again, noticing any tender spots. And if you find one, just pause on it. See if you can get that tissue just to release. Think of a sponge, squeezing out a sponge. Same thing, we're just rinsing and rehydrating. And then move on past it. And then we're going to slowly release that leg onto the floor. And we're going to slide off of the roller to the front, and we're going to move on to the upper back. So you're going to move that roller backwards a little bit that you can get your shoulder blades, the middle of the upper back, the thoracic spine, on that roller. We're going to always hold the head so we don't let the neck get tired, or we don't want to have any issues on straining that neck. So just having your hips on the floor, open the elbows. First start to curve your body over the back of that roller, feeling that chest opening up. Take a couple breaths here. This can be just as plenty just to get some opening up, helping the upper back as well. Now if you'd like to go a little more, we're going to lift the hips and we're going to gently roll to the top and the bottom of the shoulder blades. So we stay in that upper back. Now to get a little more into that muscle along the edge of the spine, we're going to draw the elbows in slightly and just maybe a little chin tuck, Again, just getting in that tissue a little deeper. And you don't want this to hurt, you want it to feel good. You might get a natural chiropractic adjustment. One more time, we are not rolling the low back. I want you to find the middle of those shoulder blades and then lower those hips again. Now we're going to walk the feet in, and then I want you to slowly shift your hips slightly to the left so you can drop your knees to the right. And then we're going to roll on to the right armpit. Now if you're missing lymph nodes, or if you've had any kind of lymphedema, then you want to stay back more out of that area, but into the shoulder blades. Option to go into the armpit if you know you're good, and you're going to have the knees stacked and bent and a little in front of your hips. Now we're going to change things up a little. I want you to take your hand, where you're probably holding the head now, and we're going to reach back and we're going to interlace the fingers over our head, and then just place your palms as your hands are interlaced on top of your head. Good. And I want you to roll slightly forward so you're really into that armpit on that roller, and then slide your body maybe forward a tiny bit so you can get into a little bit of that meaty part right below the shoulder, the armpit, in the back of the shoulder. Now from here, we're going to gently lift the upper body, almost like you're doing a side crunch, and then lower back down onto that roller. And then lift again, and you're going to lower back down. Now as you go up and down, the weight you push into your hips will determine what you feel when you lower your elbow towards the floor. So maybe your hips come up a little, so more weight goes into the roller. If it's too intense, then don't put as much weight into the roller and keep it more into the hips. Good. Couple more. Leaning into it, and then lift the body. So again, as you come down, that armpit is wrapping around that roller. A little bit of that back shoulder blade is on it. Good. Down and up. Last one. Now we're going to switch to the other side. So now you're laying on your left hip, knees stacked and in front of your hip. And I want you to put your armpit on top of that roller. Maybe your head is being supported on the hand, just so you can make sure you've got that alignment. Then take your top right arm over your head, interlace your fingers, and then place your palms on top of your head. So you have a little more support again for that neck. Now make those adjustments, maybe slide forward a little bit so you're getting into that armpit and right back into that lat. Same goes for this side if there's anything going on, missing lymph nodes. Lift your upper body like you're doing a side crunch, like that top elbow is pushing towards your hips, and then lower back down, maybe lifting off the hips just ever so slightly, and then lift up again. So just a gentle side to side. Anybody find some trigger points in there? If you find one, just rest on it. Try to breathe, relax. We're letting this area recover. Like by giving it some tender, loving care here. It's like a deep tissue massage when we get those trigger points. Good. One more time. And then we're going to release the hands. Go ahead and push yourself all the way up and extend the legs. And we're going to take that foam roller and we're going to extend it out in front of us. And we're going to place our calves on top of that roller. So both the legs are straight out. The lower part of the legs are on the roller. Now you are welcome to do one leg at a time, and we're just going to draw our bodies forward and back using our hands for support, or you can cross your left leg over your right, because we're going to start on the right. You're just going to bend and straighten, or again, slide that body forward and back, and we're going to go the whole calf. So you're going to go from the ankle, bring your hands close to your hips, slide forward so you go all the way up close to the back of the knee, but not hitting the back of the knee, and then back down. Maybe turn that leg a little bit in towards the left, getting along the inside edge, and then the outside. So just a quick rinse and rehydrate of the tissue. Foam rolling along the whole lower part of the leg. So that leg, and you can turn it out way out to the right if you want to get more to the side. And then once you're done with that, we're going to switch legs. So we're going to go to the left. Use those arms, push yourself up. If this is hard on the wrist, you're welcome to go onto your elbows or your back. You would just do more of a bend and straighten, and it might take you a little longer to get through that whole leg. But just for time's sake, we're just doing a quick roll and release of that tissue, and then you're going to turn that leg to the right, that left leg to the right, so you get on the inside edge, that lower leg. Then you're going to turn it to the left so you get the outside edge. And you can turn it way to the side if you'd like. One more time, up and down the middle. And then we're going to release. And you're going to cross the legs. Now we're going to flip around and we're going to go to quads. So bringing that roller right above the knees, and then bring your elbows to the floor, coming to a plank position. And again, making sure the roller is not hitting the kneecaps, but it's right above the knees. Feet are about hip distance apart, and try to relax the legs. Now this is one that we do want to go very slowly on, and the key is here to find your breath, because we're trying to recover. So we're going to place the palms on the floor, and I want you to just very gently roll yourself slowly backwards. Walk your elbows back, and then continue to roll yourself backwards. So that roller is going up the thigh. Nice and slow. Walk the elbows back again. Continue until you can't go any higher comfortably on the quads. And that's when we start our journey back down. So walking the elbows forward, slowly dragging that roller down the thighs. You might notice a difference from traveling up and traveling down. Now when we get back to the top of the knees, on the bottom of those the calf muscle, quads, not calves, quads. When we are top of the bottom of the quads, at the top of the knees, slowly roll yourself forward and back 1 inch. And as you do this, try to breathe. Focus on the inhale, the exhale. And notice what area of the body, as we've been rolling, has a little more tender spots. And then walk the elbows back again. And you're going forward and back about 1 inch. Just a gentle, slow-paced roll. And then again, forward and back. Walking the elbows back. And you might notice a certain area of the quads. Maybe as you get higher up, it's a little more sensitive. Is the right more than the left? Just means you're normal. And it's good to know what's going on in the body. Moving up a little higher. And just again, continuing up until you can't go any higher. Once you are there, and the legs can't go anymore, you're going to slide off the back of the roller. You're going to find a child's pose. So separate your knees, feet together. You can try to bring your elbows on top of that roller and tuck your head under between and bring your thumbs to the spine. Take another breath. Then we're going to bring the hands up, or release them. Place your right hand on the roller and reach it out in front of you. And again, if you've moved the roller away, you can always have your hand on the floor. You're going to thread the needle. You're going to slide your right hand underneath and then reach the left arm out in front of you on that roller. And again, you can always have your arm on the floor if you would prefer. And then wiggle your fingers. So remember, trying to get that stretch through that armpit because we released a lot there, rolling. And then we're going to come up. We're just going to switch hands. So place your right hand on the roller, left arm under. Thread the needle, wiggle those left fingers. Really reach that right hand out. So you're getting a stretch through the armpit and through the back of the shoulder on the opposite arm. Good, then we're gonna come back up. You're gonna place both hands on the roller, a little wider than your shoulders. And then we're gonna lower down like we're going to a variation of puppy pose, bringing that forehead towards the floor. Just really feel that nice stretch through the arms, armpits, and maybe your back as well. Feeling that nice stretch. Slowly coming up, we're gonna move that roller again to the side. And go ahead and bring your feet out in front so you can sit nice and tall in a seated posture, lengthening through the spine. Now let's reach our right hand to the floor, left arm overhead, take a nice side stretch. So rolling through the glutes, quads, there's a lot of attachments there to the hips. Go ahead and release, other side. So we want to release any tension, bringing all of the body parts that are connected to lengthen. Now we're going to come all the way back up and we're going to twist to the right, lengthening through the spine, holding your left hand on that right thigh. And slowly release, go to the other side, lengthening through the spine, using your arm as a kickstand behind you. And then coming back through the center, we're going to straighten out the legs out in front of us, sitting up nice and tall. And we're just going to bring the right leg across the left thigh, give it a squeeze, and you can twist towards the right. Flexing your left foot. And then slowly release. We're going to go to the other leg. So you're going to straighten your right leg and pull your left knee in, give it a squeeze, and then we're twisting, lengthening through the spine. Flex your right foot and find your breath. Feel that wonderful stretch through that glute hip area after we rolled it. And it might be a little easier to twist because we rolled that upper back. And then we're going to release. Now you're going to bring your legs underneath. We're coming to tabletop. Hands and knees. We're going to do a couple cat-cows, spreading out your fingers first. Draw your shoulders over your wrist, and then draw your knees under your hips. And then round through the back. Nice exhale, pushing through your feet. And then you're going to inhale. Arch the head and the tailbone, looking up. And then exhale, round. And inhale, lift. And then find your neutral spine, tucking your toes under. Shift the hips backwards just enough so you can start to lift to your downward facing dog or an upside down V. And you're going to walk your feet out, pedal them out. This is a fabulous stretch, getting into those calves that we rolled, into the glutes, the upper back, and then you bend your knees slightly as you draw your belly to your thighs. Pressing into the fingertips and then pull the shoulders away from the ears. And then we're going to lift the right leg up and then bend the knee and bring your right foot forward between your hands. And make sure your right knee is over your right ankle. We don't want the knee way in front here to lift the heel. You want to keep things in alignment. Go ahead and lower your left knee back down onto the floor. And then lengthen and lift your body all the way up in that low lunge, feeling that hip flexor stretch. Option to untuck your toe if you would like. If there's pressure on that back knee, push into that back foot. And then lower your left hand to the floor inside that right knee. Shift and twist towards the right knee. Chest is twisting. Option to tuck your back toe and straighten out the leg, and option to reach your arm up or even back behind you. Just opening things up and then releasing both hands back to the floor. Step back to plank and then shift to downward facing dog. Bend the knees, slide the shoulders away from the ears. And then we're going to lift the left leg and then bend the knee and pull the left foot between the hands, making sure, again, the knee, super important, that knee is under or over the rib. I can't talk today. That the knee is over the ankle. Maybe you have to push it forward. That's okay. Lower your right knee to the floor and walk yourself up. Option to untuck your toe if you'd like. And lengthen through the spine. Feel that right hip flexor really stretching. Finding your breath. Then we're going to take the right hand, lower it to the floor on the inside of the knee and the left foot. Tuck your back toe. Now option just to twist your right shoulder towards that left knee and stay here, or you can straighten the back leg. You can reach your arm up, you can reach it back. Find your breath, maybe open the chest, maybe have your hand on the hip. Lots of variations. Go with what feels good to you. Now we're going to bring the hands back to the floor and then step back to plank, nice and tall. And then you're going to lower to your knees. Slide back to one quick child's pose, knees apart, feet together. Draw your head to the floor. Take a deep breath in, stretch out that low back. Exhale out. Coming all the way up, you're going to cross your legs and then sit down on the mat. Make sure you have room behind you, because we're actually going to go all the way onto the back now. Lower it down. We're going to pull the right knee into the chest, and we're going to straighten out the left leg. Walk your shoulders away from the ears, and just feel that nice stretch through that whole left leg, hip flexor, maybe the right hamstring, and breathe. Now you're slowly going to pull the left knee in and extend the right leg to the front of the mat. Just feel that nice stretch. Notice the difference from one side to the other. Is one hip flexor tighter than the other? So after rolling, we get a little deeper into our stretches because things are a little more warmed up. Now from here, we're going to take that left foot, go ahead and place it on the floor. And then bring your right knee in and up, and then cross your right ankle over the left thigh and open up that right knee. We're going to bring the arms out like cactus arms so the back of the hands are on the floor. Now you're going to scoot your hips just slightly to the left and then let both knees drop to your right. So then your right foot is on top of that left thigh. Nice little twist, opening up the hips, finding your breath. Option to look over to your left if you would like. Now very slowly bringing your head to neutral if it was turned, and then slowly bringing both knees up to center. Place your left foot flat on the floor, center your hips again. Readjust. And then send your right heel to the ceiling and then bend the knee and place the foot back on the floor. Both feet about hip distance apart. And then you're going to take your left ankle and place it over your right thigh. Figure 4, really keep that knee open. Do a slight shift of the hips to the right as you drop both legs to your left. So now your left ankle is on top of the right thigh. And maybe look to your right. Just enjoy that nice stretch. Again, think of, you're rinsing out the sponge, you're rehydrating, you're giving your body some recovery moves here. And then bring your head back to neutral. And then slowly lift the knees back to center. Readjust those hips and then extend the left leg straight up to the sky and then bend the knee. Place the feet flat on the floor. Good. Reach your arms down to your hips. Take one bridge here, pushing through your feet, lifting your hips, lengthening through the spine, and then slowly lowering those hips all the way down. Hug those knees into the chest, and then you can roll to your side or you can roll all the way up. We're going to transition back to a seated position, a Sukhasana, an easy seat. Sitting up nice and tall, do a couple shifts side to side. Maybe, hopefully you feel a little looser. Your body's on its way to feeling good, nice and recovered. Take a deep breath in, reach those palms overhead. Exhale, palms to heart space. Thank you so much for joining me today. Namaste.